Trump's big, beautiful bill has a provision that bans all 50 states from regulating the federal government's use for AI for 10 years. If this bill passes, all 50 states will be stripped of their ability to protect their own citizens from federal surveillance using AI. It's right in the bill, but who reads bills? Who reads bills these days, right? I mean, this is, and well, here's someone who doesn't read bills, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Full transparency. I did not know about this section on pages 278 and 79 of the bill that strips states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. I am adamantly opposed to this, and it isn't a violation of states' rights, and I would have voted no if I had known it was in there. We have no idea what AI is capable of in the next 10 years, and giving it free reign and tying states' hands is potentially dangerous. Well, no, not potentially. It is dangerous. This needs to be stripped out of the Senate. Well, I'm glad that you're realizing this after the fact there, Marjorie. Elon, now he is ready to crack. I guess he's ready to walk away, or we'll get into this in a second. But he put this out yesterday, right in the middle of or I guess it was on Tuesday. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. I don't know if he's referring to the AI part. I don't think he's so mad about that part. He's talking about the overall, the numbers and where they're going. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Although I don't think he has a problem with the military part of it. But he's just saying overall, he's saying this thing doesn't make sense from a mathematical point of view. Guess who agrees with them? Thomas Massie. He's right. And I think he was the only one that voted no in the House. So that was his kind of response to Elon. Here is Trump's response to Elon. Check it out.
But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars. And it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, it became a little bit different. And I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape, he said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Mr. President, I just want to clarify, did he raise any of these concerns with you privately before he raised them publicly? And this is the guy.
And then there's no more of that. I want that question answered.
It cut off there, but this is funny. Elon saw the tape and he tweeted this out. False. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of the night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. And I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene would attest to that statement. Here's a RBN. Nick, he chimes in here. I'm going to read his response. There's a lot going on here, but I'm going to pass it to you, Craig, here. But this is Nick Cruz's response. RBN. How is anyone buying it? Elon isn't upset over a bill that gives him tax breaks, expands his government contracts, and hooks up his sociopathic friends with their technocracy dreams. People would rather react to theatrics than use critical thinking. We are so cooked. Craig, I'm going to pass it to you. Let's break this down. What is going on? Is this kabuki theater? Is there something happening as far as the MAGA movement is kind of crumbling, as far as everybody on board for all the things they're trying to do in this bill? This bill seems like a big problem with overspending, big problem with military, big problem with AI, a lot of problems in it. What's going on here?
Also, it was passed in the still of the night, which gives you more examples of how they're passing these bills. The lobbyists write it. They bring it on in, hundreds of pages to read and 20 minutes to vote. You never get a chance to it. You know what I'm saying? They did this with the Patriot Act. They did this with the CARES Act, right? When it was passed and everything. When they did revisions of it, they just pushed it through. Not everybody could read the bills. Not everybody get it through. So you have that problem in itself, and that's what's going on. And people should take, objection with that. They should be very vocal about that part. But of course, all the other actors involved, it does seem very much like kabuki theater. What did Elon really do? What did Doge do? It told you it was cutting all these things, trillions of dollars. When they redid the books, it went down to barely 200 billion, right? Like he didn't do anything whatsoever. There's money over at DOD. That's where the majority of the money that was spent that's missing, that's gone, that you can get back right away. Did Elon Musk go over there? They said they kind of whispered that they would go ahead and what's the word? Audit the Pentagon. They never did. Right now, that's going to be lost in the wind. That's going to be gone. That's forgiven. That's yesterday's news. Gore Vidal is right. United States, it's gone. So what did Elon do? Nothing whatsoever. And he's gotten contracts to this whole thing. He's going to continue to make money. I mean, he's part of the whole Peter Thiel and Palantir deal signed on in together to work, in conjoint. The technocrats are all attached at the hip now, right? You got Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel. They're all together now, buddy. It's over. So I don't believe the kabuki theater. And then they did the little phony fight with Netanyahu. We were reporting on what's going on in Gaza today. Does it really seem upsetting to Donald Trump? Is he really pissed off at Netanyahu? Is going to put him on a leash? Because if he's going to do that, I'd say let some aid really get through without firing on citizens. Stop with your ethnic cleansing, your Operations Gideon's Chariot right now, where you're going to control and seize all this territory inside Gaza while you try to get rid of the people who are living there. I mean, everything we see is kabuki theater. These things will go back and forth. But at the end of the day, the plan is moving forward. You know what I'm saying? The big, beautiful bill went through. It gets some chopping up in the Senate, I'm sure, and then eventually get through. But the money will be there. The money for war will always be there. The money for other and this is another entity of war, what we're talking about. We're talking about a greater war and greater control. So at the end of the day, it's going to be pushed through. It's going to go through. I'm not playing this whole little fake fucking fight right now. There was money that Elon could have found right away, legitimately. Didn't have to change his receipts, but he wasn't going to do it. And here's the thing, too. He gets a lot of government contracts himself. So he's really this is WWE wrestling, Matt, at the end of the day.
Yeah. I'm leaning with you on this. I think there's a lot of kabuki theater here. This breakup, we've seen the breakup before. You're 100% right. The Trump and Netanyahu breakup. This is very similar to that.
Just recently.
However, this is confusing a lot of people on their little team sports. So if you were a massive Elon fan and you were part of that whole, the Avengers have arrived. We got RFK, we got Elon, we got Tulsi, we got JD Vance, and we're going to take on this deep state together. Yay. You're really confused about this. And maybe, I don't know if that's the point, is to confuse their own base. The other side of it, and I have to mention this because this is hilarious. I'm seeing I didn't grab any of the tweets, but I've seen some people freak out that want to be on Team Blue. And they're like, you're confusing us, Elon. I don't know what are you doing? I don't know who to root for right now. And you're just like, you idiots. This isn't about rooting for someone. This is about understanding that we can be critical of each of these things independently of being part of a team. So the people that are out there, starting fires at the Tesla buildings, they're very confused. They're like, wait, Elon's standing up against Trump. Wait, what happened to our whole narrative that Elon was in charge of everything? And now, but again, the whole thing is theater from the beginning. But I just think it's kind of funny that it seems to be confusing a whole lot of people. I want to bring this because this part kind of brings it home. Rand Paul actually talks about the military spending. He actually says this out loud. This part is the most important because you don't see, you see the AI concerns, but you don't see the military spending concerns. You don't see Elon tweeting about, of course, Elon's not tweeting about the military budget concerns. Rand Paul's talking about, let's hear a little bit of his take on the problem with this bill.
Math doesn't really add up. One of the things this big and beautiful bill is it's a vehicle for increasing spending for the military and for the border. It's about $320 billion in new spending. To put that in perspective, that's more than all the DOGE cuts that we found so far. So the increase in spending put into this bill exceeds the DOGE cuts. When you look just at the border wall, they have $46.5 billion for the border wall. Well, the current estimate from the CBP is $6.5 million per mile. So if you did 1,000 miles, that's $6.5 billion. but they have 46 billion. So they've inflated the cost of the wall eightfold. So there's a lot of new spending that has to be counteracted. But essentially, this is a bill by the military-industrial complex advocates who are padding the military budget. There's going to be a lot of extra money. Look, the president has essentially stopped the border flow without new money and without any new legislation. So I think they're asking for too much money. And in the end, the way you add it up to see if it actually is going to save money or add money is how much debt are they going to borrow? $5 trillion over 2 years. Enormous amount.
Right.
So I think that's at least a good thing that was mentioned on CBS. So, I mean, not that, like you said, it's not going to make a difference. The thing's still going to go through, but it is important to point that part out, the excess military from a guy who ran on anti-war. He ran on ending the Ukraine war, ending these, less spending. It's only more and more military spending. So I'm glad at least he got that little tidbit in on CBS there. Craig,
the ruling class knows their audience. They know who they got. They know who they're going to get. The once again, the neo-xenophobic. I have to look at it too. The neo-xenophobic people will be for it. All that money towards the wall. That was a promise. He's keeping that promise. It's not just about securing the open borders. We have to close the open borders. We need the extra money. We have to fund Gaza. We have to fund, not Gaza. We have to fund Israel, the IDF, to continue with what's going on. So they understand who they're grabbing. They're going to grab some people. It's not the first time that Rand Paul has gone on TV and talked this way. He's done this quite a bit, him and Thomas Massie, the libertarians that are in the Republican Party within our Congress. It's like the two best congressional people we have. We want an anti-war, anti-imperialist movement. We counted on Bernie to be that person in the Senate. He hasn't. It's been Rand Paul who's been much better. And in the House, we've counted on the squad to take those lanes and fill that up. They have not. They've been awful. They're continue with the Putin rhetoric. It's been Thomas Massie to obtain those lanes. But they've said this stuff before on TV. Unfortunately, people just hear it as white noise, and like we said, it's going to get passed no matter what. But this should be, once again, part of that whole shit line we talked about. We have the Palantir, and we have this big, beautiful budget. We can see that the money's still going to go to the deep state, the oligarchs. There's something that Donald Trump was supposed to be against, and it's obvious he's for it.
Yeah. Well, this brings me to this tweet. This is so important because this kind of sums up everything we've been doing today on today's show, as we're calling it the Trump bait and switch. Going on everything at the same time. It's right here from Truth Troll Official. Americans voted for liberty and got Palantir surveillance contracts. Americans voted for Doge and got a big, beautiful bill. Americans voted for fewer wars and less military spending and got the exact opposite. Americans voted to make America great again and got a government obsessed with making Israel great again. Americans voted to finally see the Epstein files and got told again that Epstein killed himself. Americans voted to drain the swamp, and the swamp just changed suits. Americans voted for free speech and got ADL blacklists, censorship algorithms, and anti-Semitism laws criminalizing dissent. Americans don't get what they vote for. They get what their foreign handlers decided months in advance.
Yeah, I would say too.
Here's the visual. You got to put the visual. Yeah. Here's how it started. Here's how it's going. And that's the real start of it, right? All the way till now. Look at that. That's the history of the United States, all in a nutshell. Take it away, Craig.
Well, it's more than just the state of Israel, too, as well. It's the technocrats. It's the World Economic Forum. It's the Bilderbergs. It's the people behind the scenes who we were supposed to be washing out. It's more than just Israel. People have to understand that. Israel is definitely getting what they want as they're going along. Everything that their ethnic cleansing, their colonizing project is coming to fruition, and they're getting exactly what they want. I wouldn't deny that. But the technocrats are also getting what they want in this situation. And that's something else that a lot of people need to be talking about. Elon Musk is once again performing a kind of like kabuki theater, but he's getting everything he wanted. And since day two, when Sam Altman and Larry Ellison were up there, it's been that way. Everything that the populist right was supposedly against, they are now going along. They're on that ride. Now, if they want to dissent and jump off, now is the time. It's been beyond time. I think that this is also part of the shit line we talked about, but there's a lot more than just Israel winning. It's something even bigger is happening under Donald Trump, and it was by design. He was meant to be there because he was the guy to get you guys to go in, and you're going in.
Yeah. Well, I hope more people, again, we started the show with this, like just hoping that there's more people that maybe had voted for Trump that are regretting it now. And it's not about looking in the past. It's just seeing that all of these things have been lined up against us for months. As the previous tweet pointed out, this was months in advance. This was the selection. These aren't elections we have. These are selections. So everything seems to be fast tracking. I thought, Biden got a lot of shit done against the American people for a very short period of time. I didn't think you could rapid fire faster than that, but we are rapidly firing all of these things at the same time, and it's only been a few months. We're not even we're not even an eighth of the way through this term. Are you kidding? Are we not even 6 months through this yet? Wow. This is bad. This is bad. What is it going to take? How are we going to, we need more people protesting. We need more people speaking out. We need to align a real populist movement. I don't know what else to say here, Craig, but these bills are going through. You think you're 100% right. The big, beautiful bill is happening, and Elon is just pretending to be pouting about it. But it's happening. All right. But we need more Thomas Massey's and Rand Paul's for sure. Okay.
More of us. We need to start doing
something. I mean, that's a given. More of us. Yeah.
We need to start doing something.
We're trying, man. We're trying. And more of people out there watching and supporting us as well, obviously, and having this conversation. Craig, I think that's for the bait and switch, Trump MAGA bait and switching. I think I'm a little bait and switched out here, if you ask me.